Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Yeah, it's dark at 5:32 a.m. But in a little while, it won't be dark because it'll be daytime. That's what dawn is. Some people don't seem to understand. They ask me oftentimes, and I like to clarify it because they don't watch every video. I surely do not watch everybody else's every video, especially Hangouts. But they say, why you do it in the dark? And I tell them, well, it's Dawn Busters. You know, it starts in the dark, and then as time passes, then it's daylight. Dawn Busters, we're just seeing the daylight arrive. And then they'll ask me questions like, well, why you do it at 5:30 in the morning? Couldn't you do it at any other time during the day? I say I could, but there's a reason for this. It's convenient. And I could just do it and, you know, kind of lay back and relax. And then at 6 o'clock or whatever, if it's Saturday or Sunday, the 6 o'clock news is on. You see, they don't have 5 o'clock. So then that's a hard stop. Okay. Now, those are reasonable questions. And I think I should offer a reasonable answer. And I think you understand what I mean. Oh, yes. The last 3 weeks, I've been vexed. I hear people around in Louisiana, people say that I'm vexed, VEX. But what they mean is I'm vexed, VEXED, irritated, aggravated, drove by something. You know, you're vexing my nerves. Now, I get vexed like any other human being, but my soul is not vexed. I'm not vexed in my soul. I'm just vexed about situations. I'll tell you what they are very quickly. Back December 21st, I started to have a little cough, which to me seemed normal because it's winter time at that, you know, almost winter. Well, yeah, December 21st, first day of winter. It was very damp. Louisiana is extremely damp. And it was cold and windy. So you say, well, 45 degrees is not cold. True, but take this into account. The dampness is a factor that people say in Arizona, Colorado, other states don't understand. I've been to Arizona in the snow and I didn't feel cold. So here it could be 60 and it feels 40. Like my father told me yesterday, it feels much colder than it is. I said, that's always the case. My experience in 52 years is that this time of the year, people get sick. Now, I take a vitamin C every day. I used to watch my grandmother. She'd take all these vitamins. And people say she's crazy, you know. I said, but you don't know why she's doing it. And she would tell them, well, it's healthy. I read a lot of health food books. Don't eat sugar cereal, don't drink soft drinks, don't do all these things. This was 1971. Okay. She lived to be 89, so maybe she knew what she was doing. The other grandmother lived to be 95. My grandfather lived to be 96. And the fourth grandparent lived to be 82. And you say, oh, he died kind of young. I say, actually, I was shocked because he had been deathly ill, really, with diabetes since he was about 52 or 42. He'd take a shot in his leg every night. So I was surprised he lived to be 82, 72, 62. When he made it to 68, I thought, that's good. He was out there working in the yard telling us how to fix this swing set. Come on, let's go, let's go. And I thought, he seems healthy, but he was telling his cousin, Bruce, he said, I'm a little worried. He said, what you mean? He said, I'm going to have that open heart surgery. I don't know if it's going to work out too well. He said, well, we're going to find out. Didn't work out so well. But he did live another 1989, because, yeah, that's right. It was 88 to 2001, August 2001. So that's what, 12, 13 more years. If he hadn't had the open heart surgery, he might have lived another, I don't know, 11 years, 24 years. He seemed to be very impacted after that. He went from being a robust man working in the yard, let's do this, let's do that, to one leg dragging and needing very much help. That's just a story I thought I'd tell you. Now, when I got the cough, common thing in the winter, I take the vitamin C now every day. I take vitamin C every day, 500 milligrams. I noticed something. I don't really get sick anymore. I mean, a cough, a sniffle, which is common because it's moldy here. And, you know, I monitor things, coughing up. I'd say it's just like clear liquid. You know, it's like, I don't want to be graphic. It's just like normal, you know, like people began to call me constantly for the last 3 weeks. And you know what they were telling me? And I said, I don't feel bad. But you're sick. I said, I don't feel bad. I wake up, I feel good. I will cut the grass. Now you're sneezing. I said, cut the grass. Get it? Allergies, grass, and air, and all of these things. And then hysterical. You have a blood clot. You have pneumonia. This one time, you have pneumonia. I said, if you had pneumonia, would you have a lot of energy or would you be weak? No answer. I said, I walk 1.5 miles today. And that's what I was dealing with. And then people at work dealing, it was very rough at work. No one's on staff. They'll tell me, these people are not coming in today. They'll name them. I said, that's the whole staff, basically. Well, we have a huge delivery coming. So I'm thinking, how is this going to get done? So those are the kind of things. And then, so the third factor is the constant contact on the internet. There's people, I know them very well because I've known some of them for 10 years, 5 years, 12 years. When I see that they're sending me a private message, I avoid it until right when I'm getting ready to get off of Facebook, because their comments are open-ended, meaning if you engage them, it's just going to be talking about any old subject. And they'll say, right when I'm getting ready to get off, I'll say, okay. They'll say, what's up, dude? I say, I'm busy at the moment, but I'm doing fine. Now, to me, that's a cue. I'm busy at the moment. When someone tells me I'm busy at the moment, I'm out of there. I say, I understand. Or I'm sitting down to eat dinner. I got you. I'll talk to you later. TT, whatever these abbreviations people use. When I tell people I'm busy at the moment, they then regale me with long, drawn-out stories about things I have no interest, to which I have no interest. Then they say, your nerves seem to be getting bad. I said, remember when you started the call and I told you I'm getting ready to do Wild Card Wednesday at 6:20 Central? They're going to be asking what's happening. Why aren't we starting Wild Card Wednesday? I know these people. Now, when John Anile does Stout Sunday and he's late, I'm figuring he's probably late. He's busy. I don't immediately blow up his phone and his internet saying, what's going on? Where's Stout Sunday? What's going on? You know, with this hyperactive, tremendous, excitement level. Eventually, as expected, he comes back. Then we do Stout Sunday. It's very easy. Now, when things are busy, like last night on Wild, we want to emphasize the word Wild Card Wednesday. When I saw who was joining certain personality types, I said, this has the potential to be a great disaster or a great entertainment. I thought it would be both. As predicted, that's what happened. I said, let's go live. And then immediately I'm being talked over. I didn't say a word. I'm like Kamala Harris, Kamala, whatever her name is, Kamala Harris. I'm not a difficult person. I said, I'm speaking. Just keep going. So I try to explain these things to people and they're just hard-headed. Here is Chivas Mizunara. Not a difficult concept to understand, but people don't because they're in a rush. They're in a rush, a very big rush. That's why some things are going to change this year, 2021. I got to change that title for Wild Card Wednesday. The motto for 2021 is endeavor to persevere. I've been planning to use that title for about a month, endeavor to persevere. Because what else are you going to do? Endeavor to panic? Think about it. So I thought last night, I said, normally I like to go an hour, but you'll notice many times I go an hour and a half. And then I like to give everybody a chance to speak. Seems plausible. And they kept saying, you're being quiet. I said, I'm like Henry Hill. I'm just listening. And then I go to the, and then if I get home from work and I tell people, they'll say, how was work? I say, it was kind of rough today. Oh yeah, like how? I say, do you really want to hear this story? It's not a 5-minute story. It's going to take an hour. They think I'm kidding. Yeah, tell me what happened. And then after 20 minutes, they'll say, you're talking a long time. I said, I warned you ahead of time. When people tell me I had a rough day at work, I say, I'm sorry. That's it. Or I'll say, I hope that gets better for you. That's it. And I mean it. I'm sincere. I'm not saying it like flip. You know, like people say to you, how you doing? They don't mean it. I never ask anybody how you doing unless I want to know. I'll just say hello, goodbye. These are things that make sense. So if you ever get a phone call from me and you say I'm busy, I'm not going to keep pressing you. If you call me and say my house is on fire, I'll run across the street and help put it out. But I won't go over there during the fire emergency and ask you, did you ever watch Tom and Jerry? Or impertinent questions. I noticed this Monday that there was a Titanic situation where I work. Hit the iceberg. I tell somebody you need to press it. I'm using allegories, figurative speech. I say you need to press that panic button, the alert button. Why? I said just press that alert button. Why should I press it? Just press the button. Why do you think the alert button's red? These are the kind of questions I'm getting. I said, we're going to sink. Because you don't listen. Now, if you watch the movie Titanic, you'll be wasting your time. If you watch the movie A Night to Remember, you'll learn a lot of things if you will take time to watch it. You said, but it's black and white. I know, because it's from 1958. And not all movies were in color then. You say, well, Manhattan was 79 and it was black and white. I know on purpose. Those people had training. So they knew this is what can happen. And this is how we proceed with it. And so it's a very interesting movie. Not about this one was going out with that one and painting a nude picture and he got together with it in the car and all of this. I watched the movie with all the CGI. Like a cartoon. And people said to me, did you watch Titanic? I said, sadly, I did. Okay. Gold, Sir Malcolm. Gold with a slightly greenish tint. A typical Sazerac whiskey. You say, no, it says Sir Malcolm. It's bottled by Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky. And Buffalo Trace is owned by Sazerac. Somebody was saying on the internet the other day. Well, ever since Buffalo Trace was sold to Sazerac, I say, wait, back up. It was, I believe, Shinley Industries Distillery that they bought in 1989 and 90. A name that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, Shinley Industries Distillery. Sazerac Company, which is 31 miles east of me, said, let's come up with a name that, you know, people would be interested. So they invented the name Buffalo Trace in 1999, and they made a whiskey that would go along with the distillery. So that's the backstory there. So this is typical. Okay, this is a normal product from Buffalo Trace. It's inexpensive. You say Pappy Van Winkle's not. They have a big portfolio. Extremely expensive, mid-range, sort of cheap, and outrageously cheap. Now, the competitor is the same way. Chivas Brothers, established in 1801 as a grocery store. When they decided to make their own Scotch whiskey in 1909, they were buying whiskey from other people and whatnot. They said, let's make it a 25-year aged, extremely expensive whiskey. And they made Chivas. I'm trying to think of the name. Oh, Chivas Regal. I was going to say Chivas Brothers. Chivas Regal, Royal Chivas Regal. You had already had a royal warrant from the British royal family. So 25-year Scotch. It was very expensive, hundreds of dollars back then in today's money. Then Prohibition hit. And that was the end of that. And then when they brought it back in 1938, they said, well, let's make it a 12-year age. It'll be much cheaper, and then people can buy it. And then as time went on, and they're not in a rush. You see, everybody else is in a rush. Time went on, they started adding to their portfolio. Now you can get the old 25-year aged and all of that. It's going to be very expensive. Or you can get the 12-year age, $35. It's not expensive, and it's kind of bland. Like I said, it's 80 proof, and it's just rudimentary. Sir Malcolm is rudimentary. It has some bready notes. It's not smoky. It has some grain alcohol kind of bite to it, as those things tend to have. The upside is it is $9.99 at like Mathern's, Walmart, and these kind of stores. So it's like that TV show Trade-Offs that was on PBS in the early 80s that nobody watched. I watched it, nobody else apparently did. It was about balancing wants and needs. Hierarchy of needs, Maslow, right? And so they would talk about that. You need food. That's a primary need. You don't need a Walkman. That's 1983. That's a portable thing. But people think that their wants are their needs. You see, a child thinks that I need it. They're talking about a cereal. I need that. And they're crying. But I read an article yesterday that said most men these days, adult men, are like children. Things that they want, they think they need. Notice that? You don't need an expensive scotch. You just want it. You don't need scotch at all. You just might want to try. And people ask me why you try cheap stuff. No particular reason except that I want to see what it tastes like. Why don't you try expensive stuff? I say, you mean like Johnny Walker Blue Label? Yeah, it's overpriced. I said, I noticed that, but I wanted to try it. And they weren't giving it away. So on with the taste challenge. Later on today, I'm going to do another one. It's going to be Piper Dean, an extremely cheap scotch, but not as bad as you may believe. Then I have something exciting coming up. Illegal Mezcal collaborating with Doers. Thank you, David Garlapede. He bought it for me. I'm going to read the comments in a minute. I was busy last night with comments coming in left and right. Could not post them all. I could have, but the video would have lasted 10 hours. And, you know, I was up against the clock as per Wildcard Dawnbusters. So I'm going to do that. Then when I'm finished with scotch coming up, we're going to do exciting brandy, then rum, then rye whiskey, and so forth. Okay. Cheers, says Dr. Smith X. Morning, bud. About to pour some Glenmorangie from myself. Oh, good. I like that stuff. Dr. Frosty Brew. Cheers, Ron. C Note 215. Good morning. GMAC. Wise words. Too many adults are living a second childhood, and it's so cringy. Right. You could be childish at times if you're having fun and kidding, but you don't have to be childish all the time. I said this last night. Some people do beer reviews or talk like they in a commercial, and they live in their life like it's one big commercial. Getting daylight. That's normal. Now, what's the signpost? Honey-topped white bread crust. Keep this in mind. Honey-topped white bread crust. What is Sir Malcolm going to offer? Mostly grain alcohol, which is alcohol made from, ethanol grain. And then a little touch of bread dough, which is coming from single malt whiskey. People say, I love drinking single malt whiskeys. If you're drinking a blended scotch, you're drinking single malt, okay? But it's not 100% single malts. You know what I mean? Just malts at a single distillery. And you can trick people with an untrained eye, meaning tongue. Give them a blind taste test and say, how do you regard this? They don't know what to say. My friend David, I said to him Saturday, I said, you want to do a blind taste test or know what it is? He said, let's go blind. He nailed it. In other words, he said, that's what I was going to say. It was such and such. I said, why you didn't say it? He said, it confused me a little bit, but I knew what it was because all their beers taste the same. I said, this is why you do blind taste tests. This is the honey top bread crust, I believe. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. See, I'm not in a rush. But it's a taste challenge. It's not a smell challenge. If you watched the video last night, 2 hours, James P. Madonna kept trying to close us out with music. People's talking over him. He said, well, I'll try again. I said, it's going to take a lot of trying. Finally, he did it. When I do hangouts with people, I say, never take offense when you're muted. Why you muted me? Because you won't stop talking. They say, you're talking on your solo video. What else you want me to do? I knew when I woke up I was going to have some Facebook messages. I said, we're going to talk about this. I can explain it. And it's a problem that can be solved easily, very easily. Or you can make it difficult. I would prefer the easier option. But I'm not volatile. People are volatile. They fly off I keep saying they're like Buddy Rich when they fly off the handle. Research his life, Buddy Rich. Or Phil Spector. You didn't want to make him angry in the studio. $21. I gotta hide it. Oh, well, okay. I think I tasted honey top bread crust, white bread crust. I'm not sure. Now, if I looked at it, I would know because one's dark and one's light. That's cheating. And somebody posted on Facebook yesterday, a friend of mine, very good friend. I've known her since 1982. She said, when you win and you had to cheat, it's not winning. I had a friend of mine. He used to want to hang around me. I don't hang around him because he was a thief. And he told me, I stole this Conan #1 from 1970. Ha! He's laughing in the car. I said, never go anywhere with me again. I'm not taking you. That's a $70 comic book. If I had to steal my comic books, I would burn the collection. I told him this in 1985. I said, do you understand what I'm saying? I will burn the collection. I earned these books. I bought them since 1974. Now, when I go in the shop, they're going to be looking at me like, what else are you going to steal? I'm not stupid. They're not either. You are. And his response was, but you could make a lot of money with those comic books. I said, I don't buy them for money. I buy them to look at the artwork and read the stories and try to understand what are they saying in the story. Which is probably why my favorite comic book artist and writer was a man named Jack Kirby, his stage name, not his real name. His stories always meant something else. He used oblique language. He used stilted language that people could not understand, but I could, with great effort at a very slow pace. When I read Black Panther, I understood it after about 5 readings. So you get what I'm saying. Some people won't ever get it. I watched Willy Wonka, and after many times watching, says, this is not a movie about a chocolate factory. And so on. Star Wars, I was talking about this last night. I didn't really want to talk about it because I had Wild Card Wednesday coming up. And the person is driving home and he's saying, no, which I speak that way too, very quickly. I said, some people think Star Wars is about spaceships. He said, I know. I'm very pleased with these 2 Scotch whiskeys, and I'm going to tell you why. This one is very doughy, and it's even spicy, and I'm interested in that. It's smooth. There is no harsh alcohol bite. curiously, I've had people tell me that Sir Malcolm is something they like. One man told me if I drank J&B, I get, what did he say? Humbuggish. I remember everything people tell me, everything. I even remember the date. My neighbor across the street says, do you have a, what they call when you can remember something like a photograph? She has bad hearing. I said, you mean eidetic memory? She said, I didn't do it. I said, well, you won't wear your hearing aids. So you tell me things and you don't hear me. I mean, when you're hearing, I thought you just weren't listening years ago. I realized now she couldn't hear. I said, eidetic. What? I don't have a pencil sharpener. I said, well, I don't have a photographic memory, but it's a good memory, which is why I became a history teacher. So he told me I'd become humbuggish. I knew the book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and I knew the term humbug. I said, what does that mean to you, humbuggish? He said, it means I want to fight people. I said, why would drinking J&B scotch make you want to fight people? He said, I don't know. But when I drank, he said, I'd be looking to fight people. I said, that doesn't sound good. He said, I know. I realized that's why I started drinking Sir Malcolm. I said, what happens when you drink Sir Malcolm? I feel good and I'm relaxed and I don't want to fight nobody. I said, that's a good policy. You might want to stick with Sir Malcolm. That's not my advice. It's just a statement. He agreed. Okay. This is predictable. I thought this $10 scotch was going to be a real battler against this $50 scotch. 10 times 5 is 50. 5 times better in the pocketbook, but not five times better in the taste. Maybe $20 better. $10 or $20. See, and I only paid $17.99 for the Chivas Mizunara at Savannah discount. They have curiously and strange and unbelievably low prices. But it's not totally unbelievable because I'm showing you the bottle and I have it written down. I keep a record of all what I buy. And this is a true story. $17.99 for a $50 bottle of scotch. Incredible, unbelievable, but true. $9.99 Royal Club. You say, what other clubs do they make? None. If you buy Sir Malcolm, it's all Royal Club. And that has connotations. Kingdom of Scotland, crown, sheaf, wheat, key. Key to the kingdom. Copper still, pot still, single malt, barrel, whiskey, lions, royal family, and unicorn, royal family. Okay? They have medals. They don't have any meaning, but they're trying to make it look pretty. Product of Scotland, soft and mellow. I would totally agree with that. It is soft and it is mellow, which is the benefit for a scotch that's been on the market since 1967. It's smooth, soft, and mellow. Is it remarkable? In a way it is, because most of these would be kind of jagged. This one isn't. So aged, we love to hear from our customers. Thought it was aged 3 years. Imported and bottled by Sir Malcolm. Blend of 100% choice Scotch whiskies. Yeah, choice, they chose them, but I don't know that word. Okay, I'll update that. I thought it was a age statement. That's easily fixed. In fact, I'm gonna fix it right now, and then I'm gonna read the comments and close this out. I'm simply gonna delete that, and I'm gonna say no age statement. I get confused because most of them are 3 years, but this one has it. No age statement. Now the comments. Oh, I have to tell. This is Chivas. Chivas. Ha 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 ha. How you feel? I feel successful because I pay attention to the clues, the cues. Jerry Lewis, remember that Jerry Lewis live on the Champs-Elysees? Played by Martin Short. He was making a diatribe or a monologue. It was People thought it was just off the cuff, but it was planned out. He wrote it. And then he's crying. Nothing happened. He said, Charlie, you missed a cue. Cry, cue. You like your job, do it. In other words, you're not listening at practice. When I start to cry in the monologue, then the piano starts and we're going to sing the song. But no, you're not paying attention. Okay? So you got to listen for the cues. In this case, honey top white bread crust. In the Sir Malcolm, mellow, mild, and no harsh grain alcohol bite with a lot of bread there. These are doable things. Cheers, Ron, says Dr. Frosty Brew, clinking the mugs. Cheers to you. Put on my glasses. I'm like Stevie Nicks. She'll always hurry up and take her glasses off when a photographer showed up because she wanted to look nice. I'm not no Stevie Nicks, but I'm growing my beard back. She said, well, my vision is horrible. I'm practically blind and my glasses look like a Coke bottle bottom. But they telling me you need to look good because of the records and everything. So you'll see a lot of photos where she's smiling. She can't see. And she got her glasses down by her hands. Then she got old, around 70. She said, well, I just wear my glasses because ain't no man gonna call me anyway. And same thing with Grace Slick. She had terrible eyesight, but she wore glasses, but she didn't want people to photograph, or maybe the record company didn't want her to photograph. I've seen photos with her glasses on. And my friend Tom Jones, Tom Jones, not Thomas Woodward, said, she looks like a bookworm, like some lady that works in a library. I said, I know, that's what she was. She used to read books all the time and be a rock star and do crazy things like wake up the next morning and say, well, I did drink a whole bottle of scotch last night. Good old Grace, still around, 82 years old, 81 years old, and she was belting out some singing on that Rhino interview in 2019. She belted it out. I said, she might be secretly making an album. She said, no, I'm just painting. Smoking cigarettes. She said, if you see an old lady riding around with a jogging suit in a car, smoking cigarettes and singing to herself, that's me, because she plays the radio real loud. Wise words. Too many adults are living a second childhood, and it's so cringy, says G-Mac. Julie Gilpin. Julie, how's your arm? Bonjour, Monsieur Ronan. Pen name. Nice to see you again this morning, brother. Nice to see you. We've been on 30 minutes. I told somebody at work, you see this wound that's still healing up? It's got the stitches in it. The doctor told me, Dr. Graves said, the stitches are going to dissolve on their own and they'll fall out. She said, but that part of the injury is very damaged. So that skin's going to die, meaning it's going to take a long time to grow back. It made a V-shaped cut at the tip of the V. That's the point of the angle, you know, the V part. It was really damaged. She said, I think if we leave it alone, it'll heal up. The rest is going to heal up nice because it's a straight cut, no ligaments cut. Well, that made a scab. That healed up very fast. This part is healing up slow. I mean, it's healed, but you say the stitches are holding the scab on. I said, well, yeah, because it's healing. I don't worry about it. It doesn't hurt. And it used to, well, when I first cut it in September, it would hurt like hell. Every night hurt like hell. Now, I'm just letting it heal up. And had stitches since 1979. That was 10 stitches right there, boy, oh boy. You're getting better. Thank you. I'm getting better too. And like Stevie Nicks said, I'm getting older too. Cheers, Ron, says King Cobra. Clinking the mugs and a duck. All right. Well, it's been a very relaxing and fun time. People were hysterical last night after the 2-hour Wildcard Wednesday. I was hysterical too because I thought it was funny. I mean, I thought it was literally funny. And James was smiling the whole time, and I was smiling at him, and I was like, and Michael was like, well, Michael had a great, and I'm a one more minute and then we finish. Good to hear. Michael brought Seagram's Escapes spiked blue raspberry with the blue food color. And I couldn't ask him the questions because people kept saying, oh, no. But I thought I might ask him later. Like, did he take offense to that blue coloring and all? And you had all this roiling madness. And I said, Michael, I'm so proud of you, because he said, I'd rather drink a beer. But I was thinking that's a flavored ale. It is a beer, but I didn't want to get into it. But I'm going to change the format for Wildcard Wednesday. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Eric, what am I saying? William Kepley told me, he said, it's kind of boring to listen to people talk about beers that I've never had and I'll never get because they're obscure New England beers. I said, I agree with that. It's hard to pay attention. I said, that's why I tried to do specific beer brands all those years. Budweiser, Newcastle, Samuel Smith's India Ale. And it worked great because people would say, not stuff that nobody can find, but stuff that everybody can find. And I'd say, well, let's do Budweiser, for instance. Okay, everybody go get Budweiser. If somebody told me they couldn't find Budweiser, they were lying. So, and I didn't care, don't join. So we would say, tonight we're looking at Budweiser. We'd talk about the history for a minute. And we'd go through the panel, the people, fast. Not rush, but, expediency. I'd say, here's what I think about Budweiser. Give my assessment. Next, Michael Komaroff. Well, I don't really like it. I don't drink that kind of stuff, but here's what I think. Next. Dave, Dr. Dave, he'd laugh. He's laughing, wow, I don't know why people buy this kind of stuff. He did Bud Ice, I think. I don't know why they buy this kind of stuff, but people should drink whatever they want. I don't care. I don't really care. He just said, I don't know why they buy it. No big deal. And then the next person, and so on. And the views were a lot higher because, and I don't chase views, because people could relate to it. They could relate. I don't ever watch video reviews for beers I've not had. I can't relate to it. Now, if it's a beer I had, like Jerry in Oklahoma reviewing Modelo Especial this morning, I watched it. Why? I can relate to it. I've had Modelo Especial so many times. And it's calm that way. It's so calm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some employment changes because it's wants and needs. I don't need to work. I just want to, And I was telling somebody yesterday, I get paid to exercise. But I can exercise here. I can get some 60-pound bags of things and lift them up so many hours. I started getting so good muscle tone when I started working there because I lift up all these heavy things. And I'm walking fast. I could get paid to sit at a desk like here, but you don't exercise. You don't get any aerobic engagement. So, we'll figure that out. My blood pressure is low unless I go to work or deal with people chatting me up about why we're not on immediately. You know what I'm saying? But it goes away. I get heart pains at work, and people think he's dying of a heart attack. I said, no, I'm just talking to you. It'll go away. Now, if it doesn't go away, you got a problem. When I was 17, my daddy said, what's wrong? Your heart is bad. I said, no. You remember I have that mitral valve prolapse of the left aortic leaflet? He said, oh, yeah. I said, it'll go away. And if it doesn't, I'm going away. 17 years old. And I'm thinking to myself at LSU Stadium, I said, wouldn't it be strange if I dropped out of a heart attack and I bought the ticket and I couldn't watch the game? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. If I'm alone on Wednesday, I doubt that, I'll just do the video for 30 minutes. If I'm joined with people, which I assume could be up to 6. Somebody asked me last night, why don't you do 10 people? I said, why don't you send me the money? Then we'll do that. So we got, for the rest of the month, because people expecting wildcard, I'll string it along. Wildcard Wednesday on the 20th, wildcard Wednesday on the 27th. Wheat beers on the 3rd, February. And then February 10th, 17th, and 24th, I'm going to have themes. It's not going to be styles. It's going to be specific brands of beer. If you don't want to join, don't join. If you want to start your own hangout, do it. At the same exact time, I won't care. If you want to join, it'll be fine. Just let everybody talk. It's like, okay, here's what I think about. Go back and check me on this. I always tell my students when I was teaching, check me. I said, Africa was a continent. You told me it was a country. Check me. Later on in the day, they come back and say, you was right. I say, I know, but I didn't want to, get into it. If they say, well, I got to wear my ID, I say, I wouldn't let a teacher push me around like that. Why don't you go tell the principal? They wouldn't do it. If they did, the principal would say, but you're supposed to wear an ID. He's doing the right thing. Well, Miss So-and-so don't check. She said, I know. That's why we got problems. All right. So the 10th, 17th, and 24th is going to be themes. I just got to think about them. March, spring box. That's a box you can drink in spring. 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st is going to be a theme. April 7th, Budweiser. You don't like it? Don't show up. Nina does. She showed me a Budweiser can last night. I didn't take offense since that's the theme. 14th, 21st, and 28th going to be some brands. Get ready because it's coming back. The biggest comments I have on Hangouts, Wildcard Wednesday, is, when are you going to start bringing back beer brands? I say it's not going to be long because I can't take it anymore. To listen on and on about beers I've never had and will not have. It's boring. People tell me, it's kind of boring. I say, I know. I always agree with that because it's boring to me. May 5th is malt liquors. What you know about that? Malt liquor, always malt liquor. May 12th, going to be a theme, meaning a brand. It could be wine. You say, well, I don't want to drink wine. Well, don't show up. It could be whiskey. I doubt that because I'm doing Doorbusters. But it could be. If I find Glen Silver, I bet you it's going to be Glen Silver with James P. Madonna. If you don't want to show up, don't. We're not fretting over that. We're not vexing and getting stressed and drove over that. That's how people in Louisiana talk. May 5th, malt liquors. May 12th, coming up, 19th, 26th. I'm going to think of something. June, Miller High Life. 9th, 10th, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th, we're going to think of something. I'm creative. I'm not creative. I'm not. I told students I'm not creative, but I can steal other people's material, and I'll be the first to. I'm like David Bowie. They say, how you get all these ideas? He said, nicking it. I said, what does that mean? You nick it. He said, it's an English phrase. It means steal. Ice beers, July 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th is going to be some beer brands. I only wanted to do once a month. My friend Paul, who can't join anymore because his kids are banging on the door, told me, you should do it once a week. I said, why? Once a month is enough for me. He said, it'll lose momentum. I said, I don't care. He said, well, just see what happens. I said, okay. So that was in 2014. This is 7 years later. All right. That's it. It's long, but it's meaningful. Who wins? No one, because Sir Malcolm is a great value and Chivas Mizunara is a great value. Buy what you want. In my case, which is both, because I wanted both. Later on today, and not much later, it will be Chivas Mizunara versus Piper Dean. I think I know who's going to win that one, but it could be treacherous, which I don't mind because it's a hangout and it's about, whiskey. I tell people, we're talking about beer, right? You think it's a religion. It's a hobby. It doesn't matter. We're talking about beverages. Why are you getting hostile? Why are you becoming hostile about Milwaukee's Best Light? I watched a video from Milwaukee's Best Light from LQ Liquor Reviews this morning. Why did I like the video? It was calm, measured. It made sense. And he said, it's not really something I would drink. But if I was going to drink a light beer, I'd probably pick this one or some other one for a number of factors. Good to hear, says Julie. It's hard to get a 12-pack of Coors where you live. Here, I can get a 12-pack right now. It's after 6. I can go to Racetrack and get a 12-pack. But it'd be very expensive, so I could wait and go to Food for Less and get a 12-pack of pint cans now. Pint cans for about $12 or less. MB says, got my last stout, going to drink it soon. Yes, I'm going to do a beer review today. Now, if anybody wants to know what beer I'm going to review today, let me know now, or I'm going off. I'm going off the air, not off the grid, not off my mind, not off my rocker, just off the air. I have a beer. I'm going to count to 10. If I hear yes, I'll do it. If not, you'll see it in a week when I post it. 10, not down backwards. 9, 8. Love your reviews for spirits. Common sense for sure. Frugal. I don't know why that's a problem for people, but it seems to be. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cash me outside. What you know about Da? Oh, yes. Okay, you caught it. Right at the bell, just like Buster Douglas. Hold on. Oh, look at daylight coming. Makes sense. It's 6:18. Wait till daylight savings time in July. It's going to be 6:18 and you're going to think it's 5:18. Makes sense. This is campfire amplifier. Campfire amplifier. What do I know about that? Very little. I'm going to research it. From Dogfish Head. Oh, can't wait. I can't wait because I have to wait. But that's going to be exciting. Already told you what whiskey's coming up. Like a flower, as Paul McCartney said in 1980, coming up like a flower. After Thursday, which is going to be today, then I'm going to do Doers illegal mezcal versus everybody. Everybody love me. Everybody love me. So I'm going to go do that. And then once I'm finished with that extrapolation, then we're going to circle the wagon and come back and do brandy. People tell me I don't like brandy. Don't watch. Then I'm going to do rum, which is going to take forever. And then we're going to do, what you call that stuff? Rye whiskey, which is not going to take forever because I don't have much. And then we're going to do blended American. Oh, sorry, straight bourbon, blended American. And the circle keeps going circle-ish in a circular manner. Thank you very much. I'm out, y'all, but not for long. Wait 3 hours or 4, and you're going to see me back. Bye. Put the date, guys.